Well, I met Dick, I guess. I've known Dick basically all my life. He's been here ever since I've been a small child. I've seen Dick around and started his business, and so that's how I became acquainted with him. Of course, as he grew his business and I became a little bit older, our paths started to cross in a lot of different arenas, politically and also in business, and so we became close friends. Of course, Dick's been a servant of this community for forever. He's a county councilman, he was a state legislator, and then he became a senator. Of course, me being in the infrastructure building business, we paralleled each other, and we were always on the same page. Dick's always been for growth and trying to get roads and tourism, and he's been a great business leader himself, trying to build the tourism business, and so it was a natural fit for us to be allies with each other. So we worked on any kind of project that I could to help Dick or assist Dick in any way to get money here to build roads and infrastructure and that kind of thing. Not only for the community, but for the benefit of my business too. And there's no question, without Dick Elliott's leadership, I don't think we would have had any of those major projects. I don't think we'd have had 22. I don't think we'd have had 31. He was instrumental beyond what people know in this community. People don't have an idea of what Dick did, how many late hours and nights. I know personally, I've been on private aircraft with him as late as 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, jumping around the state, trying to get support for critical dollars that was needed or critical issues that was needed to move the progress of 22 and 31 along. So a lot of people's not aware of how much Dick has done in this community. I don't consider Dick to be a Democrat or a Republican. I know he ran as a Democrat, but certainly when you think about Democrats in today's world, you think of somebody quite different than Dick Elliott. He is probably one of the most conservative people I've ever known in my entire life. And I just think he has been tireless working for the people that can't take care of themselves. But on the other hand, he's not a liberal, or he's not a staunch Republican. He is just a unique individual, and I think he comes across well. And I think that's why on both sides, people love Dick Elliott in his district. I think he's unbeatable in his district. And I think that's unique, and it speaks well for itself. Well, you can't know Dick and not know Ann, and you can't know Dick and not know Rick or his whole family. When you think of Dick Elliott, there's a word, it's epitome, and that is in his family, the way he raised his family, the examples he set to his family. You can see it in their daily actions. You can see it when you deal with them and talk with them. Dick's influence has been paramount, as well as Ann's too. And just a model citizen, and it shows in their children and their family, and it shows in their business, and it shows in his leadership here in the community. And he's a cornerstone in this community, and when he's gone, he'll be sorely missed. He will not be an easy act to follow on a personal level or a political level. Anybody coming behind him politically has big shoes to fill. And that's how I feel about Dick Elliott and his entire family. Coming up as a young man, certainly I looked at him and admired him and his work ethic. I would go down by many times at 10, 11 o'clock at night, and I would see one light on in one little small office. And he operated out of that, and that was a great example for me, that if you work hard enough and you put in the time, and I used some of those same things I learned from Dick Elliott and watching Dick Elliott to build my business. And I appreciate that. I appreciate him allowing me to be close enough to him to share those kinds of things with me, work ethic. And even at one time I thought about running for political office, and Dick said to me, you better make all the money you need to make, because when you go to Columbia, you're going to have a big sacrifice, not on your family, but on you financially. And he's paid that price. Many times you could go by his office, and which was amazing to me, and you spoke about Democrats and Republicans, but I would literally see people waiting in line in his office to see him for the most ridiculous things and some needy things. But he always had time for anybody that came by there, and he was always courteous and always nice and always went beyond what a public servant would do. Making sure that if whether it was a loan, I know he made a lot of loans to individuals, let them borrow money, and I'm sure he never got all of that back. I don't know how much people in this community know that, but I've witnessed that, and I had a high respect for him for always taking time, no matter who that gentleman was in front of him, whether he had money or didn't have money, to try to lend a helping hand. I don't think I've ever seen Dick mad. He's one of the few individuals that you can ride on my chain and most people's chains. He's got a very calming demeanor, and he never gets rattled and angry at someone. He thinks his way through most things. He's like a captain in the sea, you know, running a ship in a storm, and you need that with a lot of people in this. And I'm sure that's been an example to his children too. But one funny story with Dick, he was a large landowner around here, and he hired me or us to go out with one of my bulldozers one day on I think it's like a 1,100 acre tract that he had. And I don't know if the trees ever been cut on this piece of property. That's how dense it was. And he went out and he was on the bulldozer. He likes to run bulldozers, so he was on my bulldozer, and it was getting late. It was getting in the wintertime, and the sun was going down, and we were way back where nobody could find us. And he was cutting a path out, just trying to see what it was. And he had a habit of doing this a lot. Well, let's just go a little further, lad. Let's just go a little further. I think we're all right. And lo and behold, we just sank to the top of those tracks. And we started walking, and Dick's got a bad leg. And I would have to stop and wait on him, and he was getting we were in the nightfall then. So finally I just said, Dick, I want to get out of here before a bear eats us. Please get on my back and let me tote you out of these woods. I'll never forget that as long as I live. And he did. He got on my back, and I literally toted him out of this tract, of a 1,300 acre tract. We got home. I don't even know what time it was. But those are things you just don't forget. And I also had to do that at a football game in Arkansas one time too, up a hill. He couldn't get up a hill. But Dick's a great man, and I love him like a father, and he'll be sorely missed one day when he goes to a better place by the community and by a lot of friends.